50 years ago, Hurricane Agnes moved through the region.
Never underestimate the power of water.
119 people were killed as the storm caused catastrophic damage and is still one of the costliest storms in the nation's history.
It truly was an enormously devastating flood to the entire Susquehanna Valley.
5 decades later, we look back at the damage and the progress made, from weather forecasting technology to flood mitigation.
It was just phenomenal. I've never seen rivers flow like that. They've had storms, but nothing like Agnes.
This is a Forecasting Our Future special, Hurricane Agnes, 50 years later.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Andre Hepkins.
And I'm Ashley Hinson. This week marks 50 years since Hurricane Agnes worked its way up the East Coast, dropping catastrophic amounts of rain.
Tonight, we'll look at the hardest hit areas in Maryland, as well as the recovery all this time later.
We'll also look at the advances in technology that aim to make sure we never see the same loss of life again. We begin with meteorologist Ava Marie.
It was the worst storm in this area in 30 years. Motorists were trapped in their cars and trucks when the water swept across dozens of roads and threatened to wash out bridges.
All from a storm that wasn't even a hurricane when it caused the most damage. A reminder that flooding is often a greater danger than wind. Agnes made landfall in Florida on June 19, 1972 as a Category 1 hurricane.
Overflowing dams contaminated the water supply in one community, damaged the freshwater pumping station in another, washed out electric and telephone lines.
It weakened and then slowly moved north before curving inland again, with torrential rains all along the way. A widespread 6 to 12 inches of rain fell across the eastern U.S., with over a foot of rain in parts of Maryland and Pennsylvania. This came on top of what had already been a very wet spring, which led to catastrophic flooding.
We were just scared because there was just a massive amount of water and rain that we never had before.
Unfortunately, there were similar scenes of devastation all across Maryland, including here in Laurel. Here at Riverfront Park, this plaque here shows just how high the water got. 22.5 feet, which was a new record for Laurel and one that hasn't been seen yet. So the river, the Patuxent River, may look quiet here today, but during the height of Agnes, this entire area would have been covered in water to a height up to here on the fence. To this day, it remains one of the worst floods in U.S. history because of how large of an area was affected. Flooding from Agnes caused more than $3 billion in damage across 12 states, which would be equal to about $21 billion today.
At least 5 people drowned, others are not accounted for.
And sadly, 119 people died, 19 of those in Maryland. Port Deposit was another area hardest hit. There was a mandatory evacuation as the floodgates were opened upstream at the Conowingo Dam. Nearby Havre de Grace was also evacuated because of fears that the dam might actually fail. This photo shows newborns evacuating from the local hospital.
People living downstream from the dams and in other flooded areas fled their homes to safety at evacuation centers on high ground.
It took weeks for the rivers to get back to normal and years to rebuild. Yet some places were never quite the same after Agnes.
All right, that was Ava Marie for us. And one of the areas hit especially hard was Ellicott City, where we have seen devastating and even deadly flooding in recent years.
We certainly have, and the images from the damage done 50 years ago are eerily similar. 11 News meteorologist Lowell Melzer takes a look back at what happened, the victims affected, the people who tried to save lives, and what has changed since 1972.
It has now been 50 years since Hurricane Agnes rolled through Maryland, flooding towns along the Patapsco River. One of the hardest hit was here in Ellicott City. And for those that lived through it, the memories are still fresh on their minds.
We sat shivering in the truck above the water and prayed for the rain to stop.
The rains from Hurricane Agnes began falling the night of June 21st and into the early morning of the 22nd.
This is Lower Main Street. First thing I remember was my dad waking me and my brother up saying, come on, we have to go pick Dave's, that was my brother Dave, his girlfriend lived on Main Street in Ellicott City. He said they're taking them out in boats.
Ron Peters' grandfather owned a number of buildings on Main Street, which he helped manage and maintain as a teen. He and former Ellicott City business owner Ed Lilly met us at the Howard County Museum, which highlights Agnes in this emotional exhibit, including this marker of 14.5 feet, the height the water reached downtown.
Well, I guess being 17, probably, wow, this is crazy. First off, you see electric poles sparking and and cars floating and the smell. You never get the smell of the flood with the trees and the debris floating down the river. So I'm standing on the railroad bridge looking.
Peters documented the storm in this scrapbook.
I think just shock was you just couldn't believe it. Just the amazing depth of the water and the damage that was done.
Both men tell us the pictures really don't do it justice. The fright and fear that existed overnight transforming to disbelief the following morning.
You're just in awe of Mother Nature, of course, but it's just amazing to see the depth that water was, almost all the way up to Old Columbia Pike off of Main Street. So.
While huddled in the front of the rescue boat, a woman told one of the firemen how frightened she was, only to have the fireman answer that he was scared too, since this was his first boat rescue.
We knew it was going to rain. It was going to rain hard, but that's all we thought.
Retired Howard County Battalion Chief Donald Howell was a brand new firefighter first class when Agnes hit. He witnessed the recovery of 3 bodies in Ellicott City and 1 in Columbia. Howell says what was most frustrating was that no one in the region really had the proper equipment for swiftwater rescue. Just these bass boats, which were no match for the rapids.
It's just a wonder we did not lose our own personnel. I mean, they took some risks that they really shouldn't have, but they also saved many lives.
Howell's fire station, which is now a wine store, served as the town's shelter. He remembers people calling it a once-in-a-lifetime flood.
It was amazing, just the amount of energy, the volume of water, and the destruction, and sadly the loss of lives.
Having lived through a night of terror and then a soggy dawn that revealed the total destruction of their homes.
Most often, it's the rainfall threat that's the biggest threat to public safety and damage as well.
Oh my God!
Chris Strong, a meteorologist with the National Weather Service, explained to us, unfortunately, Agnes was not a once-in-a-lifetime flood. In fact, since 1972, there have been 5 so-called lifetime floods, 2 of which were back-to-back in 2016 and 2018. However, it's important to point out the most recent floods were different.
The rain got heavier in amount as you get further north and west of Baltimore, and all that rain that fell up there in extreme north central Maryland collects in the Patapsco Basin, comes down the Patapsco River, and floods Ellicott City from the bottom up instead of 2016-18, where it was the rainfall torrent coming down Main Street, from the top down.
Agnes destroyed a number of other smaller towns along the Patapsco River, dumping more than 12 inches of rain on the region. More than 700 people lost their homes. In the end, some good did come out of the storm. In order to preserve buildings that were gutted by Agnes, historic Ellicott City was formed, and rescue companies are now trained in and have the proper equipment for swiftwater rescue. So life goes on here in Ellicott City. In the meantime, there are flood mitigation plans that town officials hope to have in place soon, all in hopes of preventing future tragedies. In Ellicott City, I'm Lowell Melser, WBAL TV 11 News.